Okay, I think this will be one of the easiest pendants you've ever made, but yet still incredibly cute. You're just going to take some 18 gauge wire, and I suggest silver, but you're going to take it and leave yourself a couple inches and then put a 4mm bead. You're going to need 4mm beads and 6mm beads, maybe 8mm, depending on your taste. But you'll definitely need these. You're going to need 20 gauge too, of the same kind of metal. Okay, so you're going to take, I don't know, about a foot, about one foot, about 1/3 of a meter of the 18 gauge to start with. And you're going to put 4mm bead on there, about 2 inches down, and then you're going to make a little tiny loop. And actually, you make a loop and then the bead and then a loop and then the bead and then a loop and then the bead. And how many times are you going to do this? I don't know. We'll find out when we do it, but it's probably going to be at least 8 or 10 of these little beads like this. And we're going to make them as tight as we can between the loop and the bead. And then when we're done, we're going to leave another, like, let's say leave 4 inches on each side, right? 8 centimeters. So let's just say, to be on the safe side, we'll take 1/2 a meter, or 1.5 feet. Okay. Oops. Okay. So these guys are 4mm beads. And then we're going to wrap this into a circle. So it's going to be kind of like this, except prettier than that. It won't have that little one sticking out. And the two ends, as they come across, we're going to twist them and then just come up like this, 2 strands together, and then we'll just scarf them around themselves like that, and that's going to be our bail. And then with one of these loops down here, we're going to make ourselves a separate stack of beads. I'd say 1 6mm, 1 4, but you could do like 8 6 4. You could do 4 6. 4 6 4. You could do however you want, but we're going to do a cute little stack of beads wrapped up with a loop and a loop, right? Loop and a loop. They could be any colors, but colors are going to go well with this. And we're going to hang that little stack right in the middle like that. And it's going to look super cute, and way cuter than this, which kind of looks like some kind of weird mistletoe. Let's do this again. Voila. Something a little bit more like that, but it will look even cuter, trust me. Let's begin. Okay, I was wrong. You don't want to use 18. You want 20 gauge, because 18 gauge is not going to fit a 4mm bead most of the time. So we're going to take about 1.5 feet of 20 gauge, non-tarnished silver-plated copper, as far as I know. And we're going to give ourselves about 3-4 inches, right? And do our first loop. Make a teeny tiny loop. Tiny loop. I should be using the round nose. Sorry. I'm so used to making loops with just my fingers. Okay, round nose. There we have it, right? And it's a tiny one. It's like tiny than the 4mm bead. Look at the size of that loop. Okay, come from the other end, slide the first bead down. I'm going to use these little African turquoise beads because they're so cute. There we go. Okay, now, this is the tricky part. This is the part where I had to figure this out for a second before I continued the video. You want to take your round nose pliers. The bead is tight against the first loop. You want to come out a little bit, about halfway more than it will take to make the loop. Okay, about the same width as this bead. You want to come out that much. And see how far on the round nose pliers. I'm holding the round nose pliers to make the loop the same size as that loop. So this is just going to take a hang of getting your loops even and tight and everything. But practice, and it'll make you better at a lot of other wire wrapping things. Okay, so now I'm going to bend the wire around. Okay. I'm holding everything really still, firm, tight. I'm holding it tight, and I'm bending the wire around like this until it's all the way around. Now I'm going to roll it. Holding the bead, I'm going to roll it, reposition. Doesn't matter what side you use. Just get it right back up in there until it stops, and then roll it again so it's tight up against the bead. That's, if you can get that part down to where the bead isn't really moving, can spin, but it's not sliding up and down, then that's most of the hard part out of the way. So now we just stack our next bead on. And do the same thing. Hold about right there. That's a little too far out. About right there. Give it a little bend and let the wire do the rest of the work. Wrap the wire like that. Whoops, camera cut out. Then roll it against the stone like that. And that's pretty much it. If you can get your loops the same size and the same placement and everything and get them tight like that, that is the whole battle. So focus on that part of it. And I'm gonna get another bead, roll it down. Whee. So we'll just keep doing that, keep practicing that. Hold it right there. A little bit closer. Just get it right. And if the way I'm doing it doesn't work perfectly for you, if you need to place it a little differently, make it a little more comfortable, if you want to use 6mm beads, there's no right or wrong. This is just to give you an idea. You do what works for you, but I'm giving it a little bend, and then I'm starting to roll it a little bit, and then make the wire come around, do all the work. I'm grabbing the wire all the way down here, and I'm wrapping the wire around and pulling the wire tight like that. And then I'm just rolling it the last millimeter. And then I'm repositioning if I need to. I'm checking, make sure all my loops are equal like that. Okay. Now we're just gonna do this about 10 more times. Okay, we got about 10 on this happy caterpillar, and let's find out if that is a good amount. So we're gonna carefully try to keep them flat, but bend them into a circle. I'm just carefully putting little bends in different places so one weak spot doesn't take over and try to wonk it. All right, and just to make it even, oh, this is kind of cute. I'm putting these two loops at what will end up being the top together like that. So this is an option here. It's starting to make an oval. You can keep it as an oval. That'll give you a little more room to hang more of a piece in the middle. Or you can bend it into a full circle. I'm going to keep it as an oval. I wasn't planning that, but I like how that's coming out. So let's see if this will work. We're going to try to hold these tight like this. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put the round nose pliers right up through there. There we go. Boom. Now they're held. Now that piece is not going anywhere. Okay. Let's put these, push these down and twist. And one more twist just to be on the safe side. Now turn it 90-degree angle. Bring the two strands together, and we're going to attempt to make a bail or a loop at the top. It will be part of the bail. Okay. That works so far. I'm going to keep those round nose pliers in there. I have a feeling that might pop if I try to come out too soon. All right, let's bring this all the way. We don't want this to be too small because we're going to scarf it. So we want to leave a little room for the scarfing. Okay. Pull that out a little bit, make it a little bigger. All right, bang the camera. Okay, reposition. I got to switch hands for this part. Okay. And all right, holding this tight. We're going to scarf it around itself, and that should be held now in place. And now we're going to bring the scarf up a little bit higher. Try to keep this part from spinning. In fact, I'm going to have the needle nose, the round nose come up here now and hold that. No. I'm going to have my flat nose hold this part. Learning as we go here. Coming around. Okay. Silver is really not as soft as it used to be made back when I was a youngin', 3-4 years ago. All right, see how we're starting to build the scarf around the loop at the top? And I'm going to say that end is about done, so I'm going to cut it. This is just basic stuff. This really has very little to do with the main part of this project, but let's tuck that one end in. The bowl that's made by the scarf, that's what we do. That's how I close about 80% of my pieces or finish them off. All right, the rest of this wire I'm going to wrap some more. So moral of the story is take about 6 inches before you start your first loop, because those 4 inches I took was barely enough to get by, but it worked. It survived. Now we're going to cut this one, and we still had about 5 inches left, which means I didn't leave myself too small amount of wire, which I did once in a while. So all right, there is our cute little wreath, and let's make the next part. For our centerpiece, I had to find some colors that would complement but not be too different or too similar, and I found this cute little amethyst, this cute little pinky orange chip of some kind of some kind of agate, and one more of the 4mm African turquoise, and I think that's going to make a cute little thing. So I'm just going to take what's left of the piece we cut off from the 20 gauge silver, but you can cut yourself a new piece if you need. And I'm just going to stack these guys on. Nice and cute. Oops. There we go. And then amethyst is actually much lighter than it looks here. It's more like, there we go. That's more what it looks like to my naked eye. So it's a cute combo. And we're going to slide it almost to the end here. We're going to make a little backwards 90-degree angle right there. And then grab it and roll a loop like so. Right there. Oh, that overshot. Pull that out. Get that nice and flat. Okay. There's our loop. Press this against the loop. Bend this 90-degree angle. Bam. And there we go. Sorry if I'm going a little slower than normal. This is like after midnight. I decided to do this project as like a last minute video. We're going to roll that till it's tight. Okay, we see we have loop, stones, loop. Now we're going to take what's left of this and wrap it around diagonal in the crevice, diagonal in the crevice, diagonal around the bottom loop. We're going to come around one time and then we're going to cut it right in that crevice and tuck it. Cut it, leave just enough to tuck. Careful not to shoot yourself, this stuff is rough. Okay, make sure your sharp end is really tucked in there, good, not scratching. And here's our cute little diagonals. Just adjust them a little bit if you want. You could do a 22 gauge for this. This 20 gauge is pretty rough, it's hard, but it worked. And that's a cute little dangly part. Let's see how that will fit in there. Ah, just right. Yes. You can get one little jump ring and just connect it. Make sure you have the side with the cute little diagonal silver parts facing up, facing out from your pendant, and make sure it balances right inside with just the right amount. So it's kind of right in the middle. And if it doesn't, then use less stones, use a smaller stones, use a smaller jump ring, or make a bigger wreath. But, you know, trial and error, you'll figure it out. But that is a cute little pendant there. Let's get someone to try it on. There's nobody awake right now. And I don't have my chain with me anyway, so maybe next time. But for now, you get to see how cute it is. It is so cute. Isn't it not the cutest thing you'll ever have seen? And if this isn't too painstaking to learn to make those loops, you can make them faster and faster once you practice. Make a whole bunch of cute little necklaces like this guy. You can experiment, make them bigger, make different sizes. Anyway, have fun, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with me.